Really, it's been a while, at least over a week since I made my last video. So I wanted to come on and talk with you guys a little bit, share a little bit of motivational tidbits with you today. I wanted to talk to you today about how do we overcome, how do we get through the tough spots in our life. And I know that's a question that I've asked in my life on many occasions, and I'm sure maybe during the duration of your life that you've asked those questions too. How do I get through the tough spots? How do I get through the bumpy roads, the valleys in my life? Because we all at some point will find ourselves in some valley or some rut, if you will, at some point in our lives as long as we live. So I would say, because we all are going to experience the highs. We're all going to experience the lows as part of our growth, as part of human existence, that we will experience those. And I said that come up with four things that can help you become stronger, become better, and to also see your situation a little bit differently than we typically would see it. For me, even through the current storm that I'm undergoing with relocating and moving to a new area and things not necessarily going the way that I had originally thought or had originally planned. And I thought to myself, and you know, first we have to stop looking at every single thing as an obstacle. So one is to stop looking at everything as an obstacle. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, see it as a challenge, um, a place of growth, a place of becoming closer to God and finding out, what His true will is for your life. Instead of seeing it as a negative, say, okay, yeah, you know, things may not necessarily be the way I had planned or how I expected, but there's a purpose here. And I want to know what that purpose is. I want to know what that will of God is in my life for this moment, because even out of all the plans we will make, all the decisions we will make, we can make the plans all we want, but the Bible tells us that the man plans his ways, but God orders his steps. So we can make every kind of plan that we can imagine. At the end of the day, I do believe that the plan and the will of God will prevail, regardless of the plans we make, the decisions we make, whatever. And so, as I'm in a different time in my life, a different season in my life, I'm aware that everything is not brought as an obstacle, but is brought as a path to grow, is brought as a path to overcome it, not to see it as an obstacle that I'll never get over, that I'll never see brighter days, that I'll never see, but see it as a challenge. And that's how I'm looking at it, like, okay, there's a challenge here. There's something for me to get over. And this is something that I can get over. And this is something that I can learn from. This is something I can grow from. Because I think at the end of the day, that we learn so much from living life in general. We learn so much and we grow so much. And sometimes we miss those opportunities when we use it as a point of complaint, or, a point of regret, or, oh, it's an obstacle. No, it's a challenge. And maybe this challenge will mature you more and it will grow you in ways that you can never imagine, because we're all at a point of growing. Even as we get older, we're still growing in some areas. So instead of seeing it as a challenge, seeing it as an obstacle, see it as a challenge, something that you can grow from, something that you can overcome, something that you can learn from. Second, seeing the situation or the challenge or the change as a way to get closer to God. I noticed, even as I relocated, I'm in a new area, I don't have any friends, but I'm learning to cherish those moments with God. It's like now, okay, God is saying, I got you one on one. You don't have anybody to run to. You can only run to me. You don't have, friends to hang out with. So now that quality time with God is just so much more powerful. And it's so much more meaningful because now I am forced to rely on God. I'm forced to trust, and I'm forced to be obedient. Sometimes we get comfortable and we have friends we can run to, and we, trying to have somebody to bounce off of. But when that's gone and you don't necessarily have that to bounce off of, you have to trust in God. You have to, you're at the point of, okay, God has me face to face, and we're in this together, and He's going to work this out for me. And I got to trust that He's going to work this out for me. And I don't have any safety nets. I don't have anything to run to. I don't have anything to cover under. That I have to trust God and His covering and His grace and His mercy, that He will do what He said He would do, even when all that cushion, I would say, is no longer there. So that's two of the things. One is to not see your situation as an obstacle, but to see it as a challenge. Um, and to also get into a space where you rely solely on God, and that you don't have those safety nets and those cushions, because I believe faith works best when we're at our bottom, and we don't have nothing to lean on and be safe in, that we run into the arms of Christ. And sometimes that's really what we need. That's what we need when we've learned to, the world sometimes handicaps us, and we have all these cushions and these safety nets, and sometimes God says, I just want my time with you. I just want you to listen to me and hear me, that I do have you, that I do have, anywhere you go, from any point of the earth, I'm with you. Anywhere you go, at any point of the earth, I'm with you. And that I'm guiding. It may not feel like it, I'm directing. It may not feel like it, I have a plan. It may not feel like it, but if you meditate on my precepts, if you meditate on my word, you meditate on my promises daily, pray to me, trust me, that I am going to work it out, and He does. I was telling a friend the other day that, you know, I can say that I would have done things differently or made different choices, but at the end of the day, I told her, I said, I've grown tremendously in the short 3 months that I've been here. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, but it's amazing the things that God can do in your life in a short amount of time, that you would have never imagined, or you would have never thought of. But that He does something, He shows you the strength that He's placed within you that you didn't think you really had. And because you've always had a safety net, you've always had reassurance from other people or other places, and then when that's all gone, and He still shows up powerfully even when all that's gone. That's where faith is, when you don't have anything else to fall back on, but you have Christ, you have His love, you have his mercy, you have his unconditional grace, that He's going to be there. He's going to wipe the tears, He's going to pick you up, He's going to comfort you, He's going to restore you, He's going to renew you. But I would have never seen all of that had I not have made that choice to relocate. I would have never saw that. I would have never seen the power of His strength in my weakness. I would have never seen it. And so therefore I look at the circumstance a little bit differently now, because I'm like, it was worth it. If I can grow, if I can learn, if I can be stronger in my faith, then it was all worth it. You know, not saying that it didn't feel bad or it wasn't scary, or it doesn't get scary at times, but even when I have those moments where I get nervous or I get scared, I know that I can open up the word and it speaks to my spirit for that moment that I'm in. And then it kind of jolts me back to, God is with you. You got this. God is with you. So that's been a very present help in my trouble, that God is there, and that, girl, you getting something out of this. You growing out of this. You will not leave this situation empty-handed. You will not leave this situation not a better person. You will leave better than when you went in. And I'm thankful for God for that. And I just wanted to use that to encourage you guys that, we all hit those rough spots. We all hit those moments of it seems like nothing is sure, no security, but when you just let God be God and let God be God, that's a powerful thing right there. Just let God be God. Sometimes that's my third thing is let God be God. God be God, and we stop being the ones who think we're making all the moves and we're setting everything in motion and I'm the one doing this, I'm the one doing this, then we could see God's hands in everything. Um, I think there's a purpose. There's a plan for everything that we encounter in our lives. I don't think anything is wasted. I'm a firm believer that nothing is wasted. That we can let God be God. And then once we let God be God, because God doesn't need our help, He's God all by Himself every day, all day. And if we let Him be God, that He will show up tremendously in our lives. And what we thought was a bad thing, He turns for our good. And that can only happen if we let God be God. He says all things work together for the good for those who love Him. So I know that anything that I encounter, anything that you encounter in life, God is working it for your good. It may not seem like it at the moment, may not even feel like it at the moment, but God is working that thing for your good. Sometimes I get in the mirror in the morning and I say, it's working for my good. I'm coming out this better. I'm coming out this stronger. Sometimes you got to have those conversations with yourself in the mirror, walking around your house, wherever you got to have those conversations that this is working for my good. And I'm coming out better. I'm coming out stronger. I'm coming out wiser. I'm learning so much. I'm growing in my faith. And those are the important things that we can gain from anything in life. And so, first, we want to definitely stop looking at things as an obstacle, look at things as a challenge, something that we can get over. Also, to stop looking at everything as a negative thing and see things as being positive, and let God be God. Um, Stop trying to intervene and make things go the way you want them to go, and get closer to Him. That was my number two. Get closer to God. Read His Word. Get quiet. Meditate. And the best time for me is when my kids are gone. If I'm not at work and I'm home alone and the kids are gone. I use that time to meditate and talk to God and just get in His presence and hear what He has to say. And it brings so much comfort to me. It really does. And then number four, I would say the best way to get over an obstacle, or get over an obstacle or a circumstance in your life, is to know that God's plan is greater than anything that we've ever imagined. So if the best is not there yet, know that the best is to come, that it's not over for you, that God still has a great plan for you, a wonderful plan for you, a miraculous plan for you, and that it don't matter where you are, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what you've done in life, that He still has a great plan for His children. And as long as we hold on to, He has a plan for me. He has great things planned out for my life and everybody connected to me. And it just lets a pressure off for you that that God is working things out, that He's orchestrating, He's behind the scenes, and He's moving things and putting things elsewhere. And, it's all working for our good. And is when we take a positive, more faithful look towards what we're dealing with, then our atmosphere changes and our feelings towards it change. And we start looking at things through a view of an optimistic person, because when we know that God is working things and that God never leaves us, He never forsakes us, we can have hope there's this hope that we have in knowing that God is there and God is taking care of us, and we're not just out here lone stars by ourselves, but that He is actually working things in our favor. So we don't have to look at things as obstacles, but challenges. We don't have to let our feelings get in the way, and we can just remain steadfast in the faith and know that God is working, that it's working for our good, that we're growing, we're learning, we're getting better. We can trust in Him. We can move out the way and stop putting our hands and stuff, but we can just learn to let God be God in all His majesty. And I believe that when we take that viewpoint, oh, it opens up amazing, amazing world that we would have never imagined before. Great things are ahead for you. And, don't just take my word for it, but read the word for yourselves. It will tell you. It's like a letter written to His children, just for them to know His heart for them, to know that He cares and that He's a loving Father. He's not out there to punish you. Yes, God corrects the children He loves, but He also has a great love for you, that He wants to see you prosper in every single way, and that you will have bumps in the roads, you will have obstacles, or as I say, challenges that you can get over, but you're not in it alone. You're not in it alone. You have a Heavenly Father that looks down upon you, that stays near to you, that is covering and protecting you. So that's my motivational tidbit for you. I hope this encouraged you. And if it did, please subscribe. There's a little button down there that says subscribe to my channel. I'll try to keep up with the videos on a regular basis. Also share with someone that you know that could use a word of encouragement. And until next time, this is Kimberly. Be blessed.